So how to overcome crippling shyness with women. So this is what I've learned, throughout my life experience, because I was painfully shy with girls when I was younger, and people actually. And the worst mistake that I made, it took me many years to figure this out, was I was protecting myself. I didn't want to show any vulnerability. And the way that I protect myself was by not speaking much, not showing my emotions, just being too careful emotionally. And that actually had an opposite effect. It actually made women not like me, or like me less, because they couldn't get to know me. And I was trying to be too perfect, and that came across. And obviously I realized later on that come across immature. They couldn't see that more softer, sensitive side. Couldn't see all my sides, strong side. And it didn't work. It didn't work in my favor. It's a natural human kind of instinct, and it's what we're taught, and it's what a lot of men are taught. And as a matter of fact, it just made me more shy. So I had to go through a lot of suffering. I had to go through I had to grow up, basically, emotionally especially. And I got sick and tired of, being afraid of them not liking me, and being afraid of me, just said fear there, a fly attacked me. That'll probably go viral now. Edit that out. So I got so sick and tired of me not showing who I was, and I was a good person. Like most guys are good. They got a good heart. They got a good sense of humor. They got all these sides that a woman would like and love. But we forget this. We lose sight of this because of being bullied at school and other men making fun of us. And we don't realize that if someone makes fun of you and you aren't strong enough to override it, you're ashamed of who you are, and then you carry that shame around women and you close down. So the mistake I made was closing down as a way to not show any weakness, in hope that they'd like me and think I was strong. Had the opposite effect. I'm not saying every woman didn't like me, but some of them, it just kind of fizzled out. And it's not just about them liking me. I couldn't really relax around them. Obviously with family I could. They were great aunties, mums, nans, friends of the family. But girls my age, it was a nightmare for me. It was so overwhelming and scary. So it's almost like you've got to do the opposite. You've got to come out your shell, and you got to give yourself permission. You've got to allow yourself to be who you are, and that might come with a period of nervousness, stuttering. That's fine. That's fine. Sometimes we've got these ideas that are so harsh, and they're not true in reality. Like, oh, if I stutter in front of a girl, she's going to not love me, she's going to reject me. It's not true. It's not true. What would you do if your friend stuttered in front of you? You're going to stop hanging out with him? That would be ridiculous. That's not true love. No, you're not going to do that. It's a lot more. That's just nitpicking. It's working through it. No one's perfect. Women stutter, men stutter. So stuttering, getting shy, looking away. You gotta go through these things until you get more confident, and then you're more relaxed, and then you believe in yourself, and then you build that trust, because you go, oh, last time I opened up, it went really well. And most of the times women are not going to open up. They're not going to trust you if a man doesn't demonstrate trust and kindness and a good heart, and be open and not try to be perfect. I think a lot of women just think we're pathetic. They just laugh at us when we try to be more than what we are. We try to be tougher, and then we just come across weak. It just becomes that whole complex of overdoing it, and it becomes cringe. But when you are yourself, it comes across the right way. And you can't just nitpoint that and go, this is how a man should act, because every man's different. But you need to be who you are. And that's something that you follow in your own heart. You feel it. You know when you're being yourself. Everybody does. Come on, everybody does. You know when you're being real, if you're doing a YouTube video, in a meeting with friends. So you don't have to be, and that's the whole point. You do not have to be perfect. None of us are perfect, right? But you got to be real. So you just got, and a lot of times, I helped a lot of men over the years. I don't need to do it anymore, but I just would call out and say, look, apologies, I'm a bit nervous, a bit shy. It takes me a bit of time. I'll just get a bit uncomfortable. And usually girls would like me more. They'd be like, oh, that's fine. And then make fun of you, they joke with you, and they tease you, and then you laugh, and then you come out of your shell, and then you're not shy no more. So don't be labelled in. Don't let this title. Shyness can be a beautiful thing. If you own it and you're honest about it. Most successful people, most people you see naturally, deep down are quite shy and introverted, and I'm the same. I'm quite, I'm shy as well and introverted, but I'm also confident, you know, because I believe in myself and I've worked on myself and, you know, got to that point and gone through the pain and the embarrassments and the shame. But hopefully I'll save you guys some time. You won't have to go through the pain I did. So, you know, you've got to be real. You've got to own it. So either say it and say, look, it takes me a bit of time to loosen up. It's also the same for women. Women ask me for advice. I've met women before and they've been shy and I've made them feel comfortable. That's what a gentleman would do. So don't be too immature, guys, about got to be He-Man. It's not going to work out for you in reality. I know some of these ideas are fun and you think about them. You know, you're going to be a type of man that a woman would like and respect and find attractive by being genuine and being emotional. You know, this whole thing that, oh, if a man's emotional, he's weak, is taken out of context. It's not true, it's the opposite. Of course, there's a time to be strong and there's a time to be emotional, and it's a generalization that becomes, it's not even works in practice. Same for everyone, you know, there's a time to be professional and strong, and there's a time to be vulnerable and emotional, and that's something that you learn through wisdom and intelligence, common sense mostly. You know, you don't need a book to break down every intricate of how to act, and it's not a tactic. I'm not into tactics and manipulation. I'm into being real. I'm into what you see is what you get, and when you're like that, you're way more confident. In my experience, in my opinion, from the good people that I've learned from, men and women, and these are the values that I uphold, and it works. You get better relationships, better connections with women when you own who you are. You know, and you be a good person. You treat them with respect, and you show that side. And you know, there's always, if you want to sort of satisfy the male ego, there's a time to be strong. So it doesn't mean that I can't show my strength physically. And some women like that side. A man can look after himself. He's not a bully, but he can do martial arts. Yeah, women like that. Some women like that side of me. But there's also a time where sometimes you've got to shed a tear. You've got to show that side if that's relevant in the right context. You might be emotional. You might see, I might see Tyson Fury win the world title and I start crying because I'm emotional. I'm happy to see Fury win. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it takes guys about 20 years to grow up. And I know it took me a long time, right? So I'm not having a go at them. I really ain't. It took me a long time as well because I was immature. I was insecure. I tried to be what I thought I should be. Didn't work out until I learned. Got to be myself. Can't be the next guy. Can't try and be him. We're all unique, but the principles are the same. So be a gentleman, and I'm telling you what, the respect that most women will have for you will be second to none. And for guys that are going to come in with this negative conversation, that I understand how they feel. I don't agree with them. I know things are challenging, and everyone's got different views, and but these are my values. And if we've got different values, we don't have to not like each other. We've just got different values, and these are the values. And this got me good relationships with women, better connections. You just get on better, and they actually think you're stronger because you can show both sides. So we don't say Tyson Fury's weak. He goes in and he's a brave guy, and if he cries when he gets emotional, or we don't say Floyd Mayweather's weak when he cried when he got the award for the Hall of Fame. It's beautiful. It's lovely. He's a warrior. So there's a time, but it's better. So it's a cold world. It's a lonely world. If guys are just closing down and they can't show any emotions to a woman because they think that a woman is going to think they're weak because there's an ignorant part of society that says that's true. What place are they coming from? I know what place I'm coming from. I'm coming from a good place. So, and women have taught me this. It's not just, a man taught me this, even though my father taught me these things, how to be a strong man. He always taught me be respectful towards a woman. Don't be disrespectful, look after a woman, be a gentleman, but be a man as well. Have boundaries, of course, don't be a pushover for anyone. That goes without saying, but there is a balance in being a gentleman and not being an arsehole and a bully, and treating people and treating women with respect, and then they respect you back and they love you back, and they will like you, and you'll like yourself, which is so important. So point being, all these things played a part when I was struggling in me closing down the anxieties, and I get it. Look, if you got bullied when you were younger for being emotional, you're going to have a fear to do it again in case it happens. But that's where confidence comes in and rebuilding. We can't go by that premise, because if we do, I'm going to say, right, one guy bullied me at school when I was younger and he took advantage of me, so that means everyone's going to do it, so I'm going to start being horrible to everyone. That two wrongs don't make a right. The mindset's got to be, That person was troubled, he was ignorant, forgive, move on. Or at that time you stand up to the person and you treat people, you give people a chance. I always give everyone a chance. And if they overstep the boundaries, then I'm here to enforce my boundaries, that I won't be bullied or pushed over by anybody. And the same in reverse. So it's all these things, it's these values, but I totally get it. The origin of the problem is bullying. It always comes back to bullying and abuse, whether you got bullied by a man or by a woman or by both. I get it, I've been through it and come out the other side. So a strong man is not a bully, and a strong man treats women with respect, and a strong man has his own opinion and is a good man, has a good heart. That's a warrior. And yes, he can learn martial arts so he can physically, you know, he has to take care of himself. And that's why I put the boxing videos out. It'll make a man if you're in the right way. In my interpretation of what a man should be, he should be strong when he needs to be strong, and he should be vulnerable and emotional when that is the appropriate time. But there's no perfect diagram I could draw. I don't think anyone can do that, but we know it in our heart, and that's good enough, right? So I hope you guys get a lot from this. It's helped me. And you know, it's funny because, you know, when you grow up, your mum and dad tell you this and you think, oh, they're saying it's not working. Women told me this growing up, like girls at school. Guys, we tend not to listen to the good people. We listen to negative people who give us bad advice, who are in a bad place, unfortunately, and we run with that, and that doesn't work for us. So if it's not working for you right now, then when you're going to realise that it's not working. A friend of mine, I won't say his name, he messaged me, he's a good friend of mine, I love the guy. And he asked me for some relationship advice on women. And he said he's been listening to certain other outlets. I'm not going to say the name. And he said to me, what do you think of him? I said, my opinion is I don't watch it. But it's your opinion. I'm not going to have a judgment on it. And I said, how has it been working for you? And he said, not good. He said, since I've been listening to this, my relationships are getting worse towards myself and towards women, because he wants to get a good relationship. Had one in the past, got hurt. And he said, you know, I said, right, well, follow what feels right. I'm not telling you to follow my advice. But if you ask me, I'm going to give you my best advice on how I think you should be with women, how you should treat them, and be honest, be respectful, be a gentleman. And he said, yeah, I'm going to come back to my values, my faith. And I said, great. So that's a strong man who realised this isn't working for me, and I went for the same thing. You know, we all get given bad advice, and no one's perfect. I'm not judging people who have that idea, because I've made mistakes too. Hopefully they'll come round. So, you know, this is how you do it. These are the relationship skills. This will help you get over social anxiety, shyness. And it's amazing, a lot of the ideas we think are the way to be, in reality, you try them out, women just think, this guy's weird, why is he acting like that? Or or they laugh with their friends. They say, this guy acts like a child. He's 30, 40, but acts like a kid, or he's immature. You know, maturity, being a man, taking care of responsibility. Clean your apartment, wake up, clean your apartment. Wear nice clothes, have good manners, you know, have respect for your family, go to the gym, work on your discipline, be a good person. This is what makes a better man, a sort of man I believe, in my experience, that women will respect. Take care of your responsibilities, don't expect always other people to do it, or push your fears or your insecurities onto a woman in a negative way. Obviously sometimes we all do that a bit, reduce that. And these are things that I learned from great women. And from great men, and I unlearn things that don't work. And I always think if it doesn't feel right, then it obviously isn't right. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, let me know in the box below if this has helped you today to overcome your shyness with women and to improve your whole mindset and around relationships and being more honest and being more respectful when you talk to women, all right? And I'll speak to you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.